Let's talk hip hop. Did I say that like KRS-One right there?
Hip hop.
Hip hop. I didn't mean to go that. I'm sorry.
Hip-hop
Slade would be
abuser.
proud of that.
Started out in the park.
Yeah. Slade would be proud of me the way I just said that. Hip hop. All right, so let's talk about hip hop hypocrisy.
All right.
So Fivio Foreign, shout out to Brooklyn, drill rap. He was on $1 Million Worth of Game, and he talked about still being in a deal with Rich Fish Records. Any idea who owns that?
I have no idea.
Mase.
Rich Fish, I've never heard of that.
Who's all on that? Who's all on that label?
Brother, when I tell you I hadn't heard of this, I couldn't.
Look,
tell
man,
you.
anybody can start an LLC if they have the tenacity to.
Okay,
It
Rich Fish. Yeah.
It says talks about how he was locked into a questionable contract with the Can't Nobody Hold Me Down artist Rich Fish Records. So Fivio goes in to talk about how somebody brought him to Mase, basically presented him with a contract and told him, you need to go ahead and sign this, man. It's Mase.
Oh, you get a Rich Fish Records chain? Sign it.
And the advance was $5,000.
All right.
He's still in that deal today. And
Just give the money
Mase
back.
is still getting paper off of this young man
Is he?
somehow. Now, he said, it's cool. I guess he's going to try to work it out. But the hypocrisy is, how bad does Mase look? Because all he does is complain about the contracts that he signed and the things that he does or did in the past with Diddy.
I mean, how much of Fivio Foreign does he own? They
didn't give any specifics in terms
And
of percentages.
Is it
but
Fivio Foreign or is it
Fivio.
Fivio Foreign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fivio
I
Foreign.
don't know.
I thought he was
Well, let's see here, 10:05 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Get that long?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
But nah, man. But no, he says it may have something to do with publishing. You know how that goes. But the $5,000 advance and the fact that he's still somehow tied to this is the part that jumps out to me, because all Mase does is complain and talk about, how Diddy did him wrong. How bad, Jay Moore, how bad does he look now that this has come out?
Well, I mean, if you learned anything from Diddy, to just go ahead and put.
Maybe he knows the industry.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe instead of doing right by this young brother, he said, "I'm just going to do the same thing that was done to me. In fact, I'll do it even worse because I'm only going to give this kid $5,000. I'm not giving him millions of dollars like Puff Daddy advanced me for my second album.
Suit.
But I heard you guys talk about it previously, is about signing the artists. Like, come on, they're not looking out for you. They see something in you. Is like, and if I can get a percentage of this kid who might blow up and be the next big thing for $5,000, and how hungry these kids are, and depending on your age and your circumstances, $5,000 can seem like $500,000 to you if you're in a bad situation.
He talked about how much the $5,000, to your point, how much that looked to him then, and then he said he realized like 2.5, 3 weeks.
He just went out and got a job and got a $5,000 sign-on bonus.
Yeah, but if you're in a position to where, maybe lights about to get cut off, and I don't know this young man's situation with happened, but look, you could show somebody a check for $20,000 or show them $5,000 in cash, and they'd be more apt to take the $5,000 in cash. I mean, I know that sounds crazy to some people, but you've got to understand what the mentality is and how desperate a lot of people are, especially right now. We're going to see more of this, but like with Mase, yes, that is hypocritical. You walking around talking about what Diddy hasn't done for you, and how you were unfairly, you had to sell off your publishing. You didn't know what it was. Like, you didn't sit Fivio Foreign down and say, okay, this is publishing. These are splits. This is what this is. You just said,
he still don't know, really.
You just said, all right, well, here's this kid. He looks like he's doing something. Let me basically buy his rights for $5,000, and I'm going to eat off of him going forward.
I did hear that somebody was pushing this young man to sign a deal.
That part,
so it even.
Because they wanted some of that $5,000.
How are we splitting 5Gs?
Look,
and it says he accused Mase of trying
a record deal.
Yeah,
they said,
a record deal, $5,000. Mase,
that's crazy.
People are like, well, you don't mean next to Mase. Like, it was probably somebody older who remember what Mase was when Mase was Mase.
Man, that's just irresponsible.
But it says he accused Mase of trying to fake explain how the money would be divided. And it sounded like, to Terry's point, it sounded like somebody was gassing him up to sign
Somebody definitely gassed him to sign that.
it. He said,
record
"I'm in
deal.
a better situation now." He gets what he gets, as it relates to still talking about Mase, like whatever he gets. But I control all of my money and stuff like that, is what he said.
If
So,
Mase was smart, which he's not, obviously, since Fivio,
That was kind of cold.
well, I mean,
it
it is what it is. If he knew what this young man that he signed was going to be,
facts.
he should have been more so propelling him rather than dropping the Oracle too, trying to go at Diddy. I don't know how long. How do you say his name?
Fivio.
Fivio, like Fabio.
Yeah,
With a V.
with a V.
With a V, Fivio. Okay,
Fivio.
Fivio. I know Kanye works with him or something like that.
Oh, he big on that drill scene.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's just like you said. I mean, you don't know his background. You don't know what he came from. You know how broke he was. I know he did mention something about $5,000 being gone within 3 weeks because I mean, essentially, he probably thought you was gonna go ball out, give you a couple pair of shoes, and you know, stunt in front of your homies, and then the money was gone.
Looked up, it
Look,
was
I know
gone.
people who've gotten, advances in like they pay rent for 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
buy a jacket, some shoes, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Like what's his name? What's his name? Corday talked about how he got a $20,000 advance or something, and when got his brother out of jail
Yeah.
with that advance. You know, so he was essentially broke after he paid his brother's bail money. But I mean, $20,000 isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things either when we're talking about signing a record deal.
Right.
especially you gotta,
5,000 from Mase,
I mean,
murder
especially-
Mase,
yeah.
preacher Mase. Come on, man.
It's not really doing God's work right there, is it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, man. He looks, with all the complaining and stuff that he's been doing. Think about this: the documentary that is on, don't quote me, I believe it is on Netflix. The Bad Boy. Remember when they did the Bad Boy reunion tour?
Right.
Like Mase was just giddy to be back, and the
Well,
whole
he didn't get
crew.
invited to the performance on BET. Sean was there.
True. But if you look at that documentary, the whole crew is back. Everybody's back in the spot. Mase dancing, hugging Puff. And that whole time, fast forward, we done had a diss record. And what Terry said, he didn't even perform at the tribute.
I
show.
mean, that bridge is burnt now.
Yeah.
It's gone.
And the thing is, there's video out there of, Mase confronting some radio station, and he signed he signed back some of his rights, but at the same time, like, look, Diddy knows what things are worth. There's a saying that, some people, they know the price of everything and the value of absolutely nothing. And, Diddy knows the value of things. He just doesn't know the price of things. And so if like I said, if Mase wants his publishing back, he's going to have to come with a check. Maybe he get with one of these venture capitalists who's out here buying all this publishing, and maybe they can work something out. But Diddy, he's a good enough businessman that he knows that, especially with all these retro and people buying up and remaking songs and from the 90s. No, I'm not letting that publishing go. Like if you got, like, I remember Diddy wanted $2 million for Mase so he could sign with G Unit, and then 50 Cent, he doesn't have any friends, so he just said, look, man, Mase ain't worth $2 million if with $2 million in his pocket.
Right.
So that didn't happen, and you just got to understand, like, this is what the paperwork is. Eventually your rights will revert, but hey, man, you wanted a new outfit and to put a down payment on the car, so you sold your. I'm not saying that's exactly what his situation was,
example,
but that's where that's how short-sighted sometimes people are.
And luckily he
it is what it
he
is,
made
man.
it out of that. I mean,
he made it way out of there.
He made it out. He recouped on his first album. He got a crazy advance for a second one. The album didn't do nothing because he turned to God, and Diddy never asked for the money back. People never tell that part of the story.
Fivio ain't doing too bad either. Or Fivio.
There we
whatever
go.
his
You
name
caught
is.
it.
Maybe
Whoever.
there's multiple ones. I don't know.
There
Might
is
be.
not.
Fivio, Fivio,
Yeah.
tomato.
He's the guy that always takes his shirt off and has long hair, right? Fabio?
Long, what do you,
Fabio is, yeah.
Yeah, I think, he's
You
like
know,
on a boat in Italy or something.
Long, what do you have to say?
From my old school Nintendo players, like before he was Fabio, he was on
Oh
the
my
cover
God,
of the video game Wizards and Warriors.
Oh, was that him?
That's Fabio.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna have to pull that up. Long, anything to add on this? not Fivio. Fivio. It's just a situation with Mase. I mean, you know.
Right. I don't know. I would say, yeah, I don't care.
All right.
Yeah, no.
I hadn't had one of those in a little bit.
No, I don't. I mean, did you see the Instagram video of Diddy's mom kind of making fun of Mase?
I did not.
I mean, it's kind
Mom was throwing shots at Mase. That's what's up.
Diddy was on a live or something, and
Fivio.
But my thing with Mase is Mase just seems like he keeps walking into it. I don't know. Like
he can't help it.
He's continually a punchline. I don't know.
Yeah.
He can't help it.
We'll talk to Cameron about him.
Man.
Mase and Betha or something.
Horse and carriage.
Rise to the top.
It's one of the worst album covers ever.
You ain't lying. Mase had a little run now, but what is that?
Thanks to Biggie. Yeah, he had his run thanks to Biggie.